Who's helping with the computer?
What?
The jury's gonna believe me.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
This is just
Next
Well
report.
planned, guys. What a team. 45 people and nobody knew to turn the volume down.
Okay, so here we go. Basically, we're gonna ask your question live, and hopefully, you get a sense of
What was
what's happened
supposed
over
to
the
be a
past
painless
year or
execution
while
has turned into something out of a horror
So,
film.
obviously,
machine was
welcome.
corrupt.
Good to see
Who could have
you
done
again. You
this?
look great.
I killed all your names in prison.
I'm great.
But I wanted to keep you all for myself.
Really good.
Your heart is beating so fast.
Do me a favor, okay? I think the first question is, someone wants to know about the role.
Did you murder Clarence Darby?
He killed my wife and child.
Guess we're done.
Counselor, you might want to cancel your 12:30 lunch with Judge Roberts.
You know, I was always going to play.
You and whoever else you have helping you are gonna pay.
And you're the one who makes deals with murderers, yeah? So I've come to make mine. Release me. Kill everyone.
We have him locked up and he's still killing people?
I found a couple of contract payments from the Department of Defense.
Tell us what we're dealing with. A spy?
Spies are a dime a dozen. Clyde has a brain, and he was the best.
If Clyde wants you dead, you're dead.
We're gonna lock the city down, put an armed cop on every corner.
He's in jail because he wants to be in jail.
I'm going to bring the whole system down on your head.
Right.
It's
You know,
going
it's
to be
funny
biblical.
because you did such a great job. I can't imagine it any other way. You know, you can't Clyde Shelton. You know,
This.
the
I'm
special
just getting
screenings.
warmed up.
You know, after the screenings, it's funny. You know, a lot of people say that you kind of channeling Hannibal Lecter a little bit, and you know, to me, I think that's a Hopkins. You know, was amazing in Silence of the Lambs, and you know, there are certain elements to Clyde Shelton. I mean, did you ever think about that at all, or did you just approach it just, you know, head on? I mean, not that you borrowed from that, but I mean, it has just as much impact. It's really strong, your performance.
No, I don't think I did. I think, if anything, I was worried that I would be compared to that. So I tried everything I could to not. But the thing is, I think with these kind of people, there is only so much you can do. Sure. There's obviously going to be some similarities. I mean, most of the movie, I'm sitting in a jail cell and I'm talking, and I'm very in control and I'm very calm because, as you and I discussed a lot, you know, this is a guy who's hatched this plan for 10 years.
Right.
I know exactly where I am. I know exactly where, you know, what's going on, and I'm enjoying it. And whereas the Jerry Butler is much more demonstrative, you know, Clyde Shelton, it's the opposite.
That's right.
It's all very, very cool and calculated. So in that respect, yeah, I guess that's similar to Hannibal Lecter. But I hope I wasn't ripping him off.
No, I don't think you were. I don't think you were at all. I think it was fresh, but I think that in terms of just how scary Clyde Shelton is, I think you did an amazing job with that. Was it hard kind of getting into that vigilante mind state?
Yeah, you know, again, it was working on this for so long. I was about the script, and in fact, too much was I thinking about the script until I remember after the first day of filming, you were like, "All right, get your head in the role," because I was always looking instead of going the actor, I'd be like, "Well, we could change this, and maybe we could put this
That's
here."
right.
And after the first day, it was like, "Okay, really apply yourself." But what I realized is 2 years of working like that really had put me in that mind. Both, even when I was playing Nick, I had such an understanding of what was going on with both.
Right.
So when I swapped over to Clyde, I think in a lot of ways I was already there. We'd focus so much on that pain and that anger and that fury and that hopelessness, and channeled all that into just kill, kill, kill. You know,
Right.
just that detachment from any kind of morality or conscience. That no, I think, and then us working together. You know, I mean, I thought we did great work of, you know, just working on that character, and then you coming in, it's like, bring it up, bring it down. What about this? But you know, from the moments that were maybe too much that we brought down, from the moments that maybe had to be brought up,
Sure.
to finally fine tune it. But I was surprised how easy it was for me to play a killer. Oh, it was a little easy.
I wasn't. No, but You know, it's pretty amazing though, because you are a producer on this movie, and also, you know, one of the stars, and you know, you had to wear 2 separate hats. And the one thing that I was pretty amazed, you know, kind of throughout the process about was, you really cared a lot about the story. Like, you were really intense about making sure the story works. And a lot of times when actors, you know, take on a producer role, they just focus on their own character, and that's it. But up until, you know, shooting, even throughout shooting, you really wanted to make sure the story worked and Clyde Shelton worked. You know, was that hard for you to balance the two? Because I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, and I'm not gonna deny I had a hard time. I had a hard time making this movie. I mean, you know, it was a hard time. Now that I've seen the movie, I think that was part of the magic of the film. You know, was the struggle that we all went through. If there's one thing I would say for myself as an actor, is I think that no matter what the role is, I try not to just look out for myself, because I think that stands out. When you see an actor who's just out there showing off and is obviously only cared about his own role, I see it a mile away.
That's
and
right.
I want it to be part of a great film. I would honestly rather be all right in a great film than really good in a bad film, because nobody's going to see a bad film.
That's right.
So it was knowing that we had this great story, and I just always, and I guess it's, you get very passionate. You're the same. You know, I remember the first day you came in, so you're very, very passionate about the story, about making a great story in every department. So, and I can't let that go. I can't, you know, much as you know, and other people know, it's like, I can't just go, oh, well, I'll forget about that over there. It's like, no, that has to be great, and that has to be great.
That's right.
And then you hope that your stuff fits into it. And I always check myself. I always try and make sure, why am I doing this? Is this out of greed?
Right.
Is this out of, you know, is this out of just defense of my own role, or is this for the greater good?
Well, it helped out a lot, because remember, in the beginning we had rehearsals, you know, and the rehearsals worked out a lot, because we got a chance to really kind of go through the story and make sure every moment was great. I think one of the someone from the live chat wants to know, what was it like filming in Philadelphia? I mean, I love Philadelphia. That's a favorite haunt of yours. How many have you done? Movies? I shot an Italian job, a part of the Italian job in Philadelphia, and I thought Philadelphia was great. I mean, because
loved it.
I mean, if you think about it, you know, I was going for a neo-noir kind of vibe, and if you look at, you know, I stole a lot of the elements that lends itself to a classic feel. You know, the huge City Hall, which was built in 1871. Our prison, George Hill, which was built also in the 1800s. And if you look at the smokestacks and the bridges, there are a lot of little elements that lends itself to that classic feel. And I think it gives it a mood that it deserves. Because, I mean, do you think that the movie would feel the same if we shot it in Miami?
No, no. And in fact, yesterday I was talking to somebody in an interview, funnily enough, who's from Miami.
Sure. Talking
about filming in Philadelphia, and I was talking about the architecture in City Hall, and then she said, "Oh, I'm from Miami," and that was a conversation stopper, at least in terms of this movie, because you know that's exactly, you're right. I mean, that backdrop really lent itself beautifully to what the story we're trying to tell, but also it's just a great city.
It is.
People there are friendly, great restaurants.
Right.
It's not so big that you get lost in it. You know, it's a city you felt you could discover. It's very charming.
Yeah.
And very, very cold.
It was very cold. It was really cold. And I shot in the Alps in the Italian job, and it was for some reason it felt colder in Philadelphia. But everyone looked out for us. They opened the city up to us. I mean, for us, and the mayor was great, and we had a good time.
Mr. Nutter.
Mayor Nutter, exactly.
Hello, Mr. Nutter and family.
Exactly. We have a surprise in the movie that may come from the mayor. Who knows? We'll see. So what was it like working with Jamie Foxx?
Who's that?
Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday.
Him!
Wanda from Living Color.
In Living Color?
Living Color, exactly.
He was all right. No, Jamie was... You know, it was really, when Jamie came on, we knew we had a movie, because we, you know, up until then it was just me. And, you know, and when we were approaching him, everybody went, what a great idea, what a phenomenal idea. And, but it was originally, as I say, for Clyde, so we didn't know would he be interested. And we think felt he was interested, but he was more